this story is called Nicky Cruz. It's a real favourite with children. It's a very rough story. This boy, when he grew up, Nicky, he joined a feared fighting gang in the streets of New York, in Harlem. And he killed 5 teenagers in gang fights. And yet he became a wonderful Christian. So I wanted to tell you this story. I actually saw this man when he was growing up 30 years ago in Adelaide, in the Theberton Town Hall. He was talking to 4,000 people about how his life had changed. A rough-looking American had a scar right down his face where he'd been slashed with a knife and a gun and a fight with other gang members. Now, I'll show you the first picture. He came from the island of Puerto Rico. Now, he had 15 brothers and just 1 sister. And he felt he wasn't loved. With all these brothers and 1 sister, well, he didn't get on well with his dad and mum. They worshipped Satan, his dad and mum. And he used to wander around around Puerto Rico, and he'd see other families where they really loved their children. They used to play drums and guitar music. And as he went by, he thought, I wish I came from a family like that, where my mum and dad really loved me. Well, Jimmy, like often happens, if you feel you're not loved, you start to steal. Now he'd go into his mother's room when his mother wasn't there, and he'd put his hand in her purse and he'd take out money, only a few coins, because he wanted his mother not to know that any money was missing. He did that every day for about 3 months. But one day, had his hand in his mother's purse, he felt a grip around his wrist. His father was standing behind the door. He said, Nicky, we've finally caught you. We thought you were stealing from your mother's purse. Into the pigeon loft you go. You can stay there all night. And that'll learn you not to steal money from your mother's purse. Well, threw him into the pigeon loft. And these pigeons, they just pecked at him. And ever since then, he had a nightmare every night of these pigeons pecking at him. Well, his father pulled him out, and that'll learn you not to steal. Well, Nicky had a terrible temper. Do you know, at school, without anything to cause it, he'd pick up a rock, hit a little girl over the head with it. Just lose his temper, he'd see red. Do you know, Nicky used to run away from home. He'd run away, you kids sometimes run away, but it only lasts a day and you come home that day. But you would get food out of the fridge, run away for a day and a half. Police would bring him back. Even used to eat his meals under the house, it was up on stilts. Oh, I tell you what, his father just had enough, so his mother. His father said, Nicky, you're no son of ours. You eat your meals under the house. We're going to send you to New York, and you can stay with your brother Frank. Well, they paid for him, the fare to send him to New York. He just ran through the terminal, didn't even pick up his luggage. Frank was probably waiting for him at the terminal, and there he was in New York all on his own. Well, for a whole day he enjoyed it. He saw the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty. But that night, had nowhere to stay. Oh, look, I better tell you this though. Even at school in Puerto Rico, look, his teacher said, Nicky, you'll never make any with yourself, your life. You can't even read and write. You're just so, you'll never make anything of yourself at all. And Jimmy lost his temper, jumped out from behind his desk, went up to the teacher and was trying to hit him. The teacher was a big man, held him up by the scruff of the neck. His fists were going round, couldn't even hit the teacher. The other kids just laughed at him. Well, now Nicky had been sent to New York. Run to the terminal. No one at all. And that's where he was running away. There he is in New York that night, nowhere to live, and it started to snow. Well, he was freezing. Got an overcoat out of an old rubbish tin, got a mangy dog, and hugged him, and the dog kept him warm. He finally got to sleep. But next morning when he woke up, a man was right beside him. And he looked up and it was a policeman. But the policeman was a nice man. He said, "Young fella, you shouldn't be sleeping out in the snow when it's snowing in New York. You'll freeze to death. Who do you belong to?" Well, he said, I ran through the terminal. I arrived last night. Couldn't even meet with my brother. This was a good man. He looked up all the F. Cruzes in the telephone book. And Nicky, well, his brother tried to look after him. But Nicky was such an upset little boy, now he was a teenager. He ran away again. And this time he joined the most feared fighting group in New York. They were called the Mau Mau's. And suddenly he thought he'd found other kids like he was, who'd run away from home. At last he thought he'd found friends. Well, they got into a fight with another gang that night. And because Nicky had such a bad temper, they armed him with a chain. And when he lost his temper,